Time for another Before the Curtain Goes Up. And this is David C. Jones, of course. And we're getting ready for prom. And we have two of the actors who are playing the Broadway stars that come into the lives of these young women. Well, let's just meet them first. I'm getting too far into the plot. Hello, how are you?
Good morning, David.
Morning.
Introduce
yourselves and your character.
Go ahead, Greg.
I'm Greg Armstrong Morris, and I'm playing Barry Glickman in the Prom.
And I'm Katrina Murphy, and I'm playing Dee Dee Allen in the Prom.
Nice. Now, this is based on a true incident, and I think from the true incident, it's obviously been embellished since then. But can you explain a little bit, Katrina, about what the real incident was?
Yeah, there was a young woman in the United States. Our show is set in Indiana. I don't know that that's actually where it is in real life, but a young woman, lesbian woman, she wanted to bring her girlfriend to the prom. And what happened was the PTA shut down the prom and then and said, we won't have one at all. And then with pushback, they had to have one. They were supposed to have an inclusive prom, but what they did was they froze the young woman, this young lesbian woman, out of all communication. And she went and arrived at an empty prom all by herself, and then they arranged a prom for everyone, all the normal people, at another secret venue.
That's so insidious. Like every time I hear about that kind of hate, right? The elaborate, lengths people will go to be hateful.
Yeah.
It's crazy. Yeah. So this was made into a musical because someone said, "What a hateful thing!" Because what made the story, Greg? Well, how do these Broadway peeps get involved? How did the story suddenly evolve and change that someone said this is musical worthy?
Well, it's a very clever tool, I think, to bring the audience into the story as well, and to lighten things up a bit, bringing in these characters who are they're very broad, and they're narcissists. So they find themselves in a position where they're getting a lot of very bad press because people just don't like working with them. They don't like the shows that they're in, but it's mostly because they're not nice people. So they decide what they need to do is become celebrity activists so that they can continue being the narcissists that they are, but appear to be decent human beings. And it's very clear that it's about appearances to begin with. And they stumble across this on social media and decide that this is the cause they're going to take on, because anything else they consider is just way too big and way too political and way too out of their tiny little wheelhouse houses. So they stumble across this on social media and decide they're going to go down there and they're going to make a difference. And of course, they show up and everything explodes and they make things worse.
Right. Now, and that's what happened in real life as well, right? Like some people got involved and took it as a cause celeb.
That I don't know.
Yeah. Do your research.
I don't know that.
Not what we've heard anyway. It was more that the incident itself was a real thing, but this is what the writers decided to do.
Okay, so it might,
I believe.
There might have been some letters to the editor or something like, I think this is horrible, what's happening in Indiana or wherever.
Yeah.
It was apparently quite a big deal, or it got a lot of coverage.
Yeah, nice. Now, this is a Theater Under the Stars show, so we've got some equity actors, certified union actors, working with some up-and-coming community actors. What's that like? Because you guys are both quite established. So what is that? What's the rehearsal schedule like? Because you're used to doing like a work week, right? A 10 to 6 or whatever it is, a 6 days a week thing. But I'm assuming the rehearsal schedule is quite different for this.
It is. It's the luxury of it is having a lot more time between rehearsals to absorb. because there's two shows going on. There's also Matilda going on, so we're sharing the space with them, so we can be in there rehearsing some for several days. And our rehearsal schedule is built around people who have other jobs, so we're rehearsing mostly in the evening. That's the luxury of it, though, is that there is room to absorb stuff instead of having an 8-hour day, going home, throwing some food in your face and trying to get some sleep and coming back the next day. You actually have some time to absorb a bit of what's happened that day, which is really lovely and quite humane.
Nice. Greg, I just love the way that you were also interpreting this for the hard of hearing. Food in your face and get some sleep. Katrina, what is the music like in this show? Tell me about, because there's big showy numbers in this show. Talk about that.
Oh, I love the music. And our numbers, the Broadway numbers, they're true to form. They're great, big, anthemic, belty songs, really meaty songs. And then, then the kids, by comparison, it's a little more, contemporary sounding, not classical music theater. It goes a little more towards, I guess things we've heard, not Dear Evan Hansen exactly, but a little more in that direction, a little more pop oriented, a bit, bit of a heavier beat. So we've got, we have sort of sounds for the two different groups that really go to,
Neat. So it's like a different quality to depending on who's singing. That's lovely. It's the voice of the character.
Mm-hmm.
It's nice.
Yeah.
So now tell me a little bit about your character, because you're the well, first let's say there was a movie version done with Nicole Kidman, James Comden, is that his name? Corden. That's I knew it was wrong the minute I said it. And Meryl Streep. Are you the Meryl Streep character?
I know I've told people all year, I'm like, I'm playing Meryl Streep. She was Dee Dee Allen in the movie. So these Barry and Dee Dee are very, they're best friends amongst other things, they work together. So she is just the Broadway diva who has been for a very, very long time, years and years and years. And she's just really settled into her thing. She's huge and she thinks really only of herself. Ever. So
how is the movie? We were talking before we started recording that the movie is different from the stage play, and you guys are doing the stage play script. So if I've watched the Netflix, it was Netflix, right? Was it Netflix?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So many channels. So if I watched the Netflix movie and I went and saw this, what would I be surprised by going, hey, that didn't happen in there? Like, are there different songs?
I think the stage version does a better job of focusing on the important stories. In the film, it felt like they tried to tie up a few loose ends of different characters that didn't necessarily need to happen. They added some stuff for Barry's character to reach a resolution that I don't think was necessary. And may have been actually a bit distracting from the core, the love story between Alyssa and Emma. So I think it's more streamlined. I think it has at its core that story. I don't think they felt the need to fill out for celebrities in the show and give them more stuff. So
more stuff to do.
I think it's more balanced.
Yeah.
Nice.
And similarly with my character, beg your pardon, but my character also in the movie had there was a big backstory and a huge scene where Dee Dee has been through a terrible divorce, but she really goes into that story. Whereas we don't have that in the stage play. She's just a diva. We see her heart. She has a journey, but we don't go way off into what that is in her past. And such.
And in the Netflix version, Barry's character gets a resolution with his mother, and in the stage version, he doesn't get that. Which I actually like better, because I think there are a lot of us out there who, my mother's awesome. And that was wonderful. But there are a lot of people whose experience, it doesn't have a resolution. They didn't get that. And I liked that the theater version of it, of the script, presents that as a reality, and that Barry's strength, where he gets to, is being able to embrace that and being able to let go of that concern of something that he can't control, someone else's response to him.
You know what? Just hearing what you guys are just saying here now is making me more excited to see this version, only because, right, that by them trying to resolve everything and thus diluting everything, they made it like, oh, look at how Hallmark palatable, which then robs the script of any kind of edge. And this sounds like it has just that little bit more of human edge in it.
Absolutely. And, we have a one, also Alyssa's mother in the, the sort of heavy-handed, who's, really pushing everything, in a certain way, to eliminate Emma. I don't know if that makes sense, but she's the head of the PTA. And again, in the film, like, she comes to the prom at the end, and, and we have this wonderful actor, Amy Gardner, playing this character. And, we want her in the closing number. The director does, but she's like, no, we can't tell kids that in 1 second that parent turns around and is fine. We can't say that that's the truth, because it's not.
Yeah, nice. So I've said it already, but I'm very excited to see the show now. I'm going to give you both a chance to, you get two things. First off, what's your, I'm going to ask you both your favorite part of the show. What's the part when the director says, we're going to be working on this today, you go, oh, good.
You go first, Greg.
I have backup dancers. I have backup boys.
Right.
It makes me so happy, as they're awesome, and it's so much fun. It's Tracy introduced it into the choreography. It's not in the script that in Barry's number he gets this, but she just thought, and I really appreciate that she put that in there. So he has basically, it's kind of like a dream ballet of the prom he never got to have. Yeah.
And how about for you? What's your favorite part when the director says we're working on this scene today? You go, oh, good.
Well, there's so many. It's hard to boil it down to one. I have two fantastic numbers, and it's a little bit of a departure for me, a character like this. I always play the long suffering. That's my hit, like that's the tortured. And so just playing a huge character like this and having these two just knock them down numbers is really fun. But I just love dancing too, and Tracy's a great choreographer for the more pedestrian mover, like like myself. So it feels right, and I love doing it. So
nice. Nice. All right, and now you both get a chance to sell this show. So you're going to look right at your little green light on your laptop, and we'll get you, since you're on camera right now, so we'll get you to go first. You're just going to tell people why they should not miss the prom. So Katrina, you're up first.
Yeah. Who's up first? Me?
No. Mrs. Murphy's up first.
Oh, come and see the prom. The show is fantastic. We have a group of 26 people. It oozes talent all over the place. We're having so much fun, and we want to share this really incredible story with you.
Nice. And Greg, you're up.
You seldom get a chance to see this many incredibly talented people on stage in a musical. It's one of the wonderful things Tuts gets to offer Vancouver. A huge cast of people on stage, powerfully talented bunch of people, present company included, Katrina. Everybody wants to go to the prom. You may have had a chance to go to your prom, maybe you didn't. This is the chance to go and revisit your prom, or go to prom for the first time.
Oh, that's so beautiful. All right. Thank you guys so very, very much. I'm looking forward to the prom, and because you're opening like in 2 weeks? 2 weeks, 3 weeks?
The 11th, I think.
11th.
The
Right.
11th of July. Yeah.
Yeah.
So 2 weeks. Awesome. Well, have a great opening, and I will see you there. I'll wave at you from the audience. I'll be like, "Hi, it's me."
And we'll be able to see you because it's daylight.
Thank you guys so much. You're awesome.
Thank you,
Thank
David.
you. Have a great day.